Anyways, hello everyone. Welcome to Salar. Blue team, we've got on the ANS side Jar, Jordan, Tasty Cookie, Firebird, and Railroad Spike. I'm joined by Scape Ravioli. How is it?
Scape Volley. You're almost
Volley.
there. You've almost got
Scape
it.
Ravioli, whatever.
Damn it!
What's on OSP side?
Team 2 OSP, we have Pyro, Captain Even, Exclusive Megaman, and Kiwi Bird, and Puppy.
All right.
We are on Solar once again, as both teams in their initial deployment. Microsoft Edgelord has died, apparently.
Reminder, we are on the PTB. There's a couple changes. Things like bulk freighters and tugs got a little bit of tweaking here and there. Some like cost changes. Beams are quite good right now. We've seen a lot of that happen last time we were on Salar. STM tuning, craft are upgradable, so you got a bunch of different modular slots there. So,
yep, full patch notes and PTB test changes.
Yep, we're not reading that off every game.
It's somewhere on the main server. There's like 50
PTB
things.
Change log, yeah.
OSP deploying very heavily on the CB side, which is pretty standard for this map. ANS is pretty widely dispersed. We have a lot of things going A on their end, which is also pretty normal.
Yep, normal distribution there, setting themselves up left side of their deployment. That makes it kind of make sense because B side typically see a OSP push go under there. So see just where things end up. Looks like very light on the D point, so they're expecting that underside push. OSP in turn kind of favoring right side, but a lot of their stuff deployed a little bit higher, potential to go towards D side here, so we'll see just how things end up going.
A lot of those might be going for A instead of for B, that big cluster in the middle. We will have to
10 seconds on the clock. Jordan and Puppy last already up here. There we go. Deployment commencing. What do we see on the drop?
I see a double levy fleet from Jar.
Okay, I see a bunch of tugs named Size, what's it, Decoy Container Clipper. Wonderful. This kind of match. All right.
Oh, that's a good start.
Yep. All right, let's go through ANS chunks first, I guess. Top of the list.
ANS.
Firebird.
Firebird. 450 Axford. S3H.
Bomber Bang backpack on that thing.
Those are anti-bomber munitions. We have stonewalls, antenna jamming, pretty standard stuff. Being escorted by a Lockjam and Eland Corvette.
Nice.
Jar has brought the double levy. Let's see what we got. We have a CWAC with high coherence countermeasures. Tontos with 20 mil S1 standard countermeasures. We also have coil Tontos with S1 bays as well. Are there any bombers on any of these?
Looks like not. No, just going Tanto Max. All right.
Tontos only. We will see how that works. Jordan is bringing the same battleship we saw on this map earlier today. Beam on the bottom, guns on the top, and we have the Jam SDM support reins. Railroad Spike bringing Spike. I don't. You want to Sprite
Cranberry? Anyways, Buff Gunfrig's the name of the CL here.
Gun CL being escorted by a Jam SDM active decoy Corvette.
Pretty common
We've got Beamstone, and I'm assuming the rest of these are gun cappers.
Gun one, two, three, and a naked capper towards the B point. Honestly, kind of makes sense. Common aggression area.
To wrap things up, Tasty is running Levy. It looks like Levy half cap potentially.
No, it is not. It's a size 3 bomber with stealth coating.
Yep, those are Jam escorts for the bombers. Let's see what we got.
3 Jam vets around the board, and that's going to be it.
Oh my god.
So, honestly though, with this comp, right, Jar running mass Tontos, doing all the intercepts, Tasty is free to do as much bombing as they really want here.
Is that the strat?
Potentially, maybe. I don't know. I feel like a balanced fleet might be a little better, but I want to see how this works out. OSP facing off against them. We can see Captain E-Band comes in with looks like a Throngler. Haven't seen one of these for a bit. Plasma on this thing. 8 barrels of it. Going to cook off any armor it encounters. It's going right down the middle. Has itself some jamming support there from looks like a shuttle accompanying it. Seeing a line of tugs just advancing down the middle of the map here. These are named Decoy Container Clipper. Okay, so the mine games are out and deployed.
Oh, I see. Okay, so we're that's the strat we're doing. Okay. Do we have more Decoy Container Clippers? Nope, these ones aren't Decoy Container Clippers. These ones are actual ships.
Yep, these ones have
actual ships.
Thing.
actual ships the same ones as the
C-53s
same
on
other
these.
ones.
Definitely a main branch.
Interesting.
It's
You don't
not
really
adjusted
see
to
these.
like
Yep.
components, but
Aux steering, DC locker, basic in the bottom. Yeah, this is a main branch fleet.
Interesting.
Megaman running.
Megaman's got the
Carrier.
hangar banks on this Moorline here. Got itself a good chunk of bombers here. These are just regular bombers, nothing fancy. Thing can be said for the Haikuda Barracudas. Okay, so just got a good chunk of stuff there. Got an early warning radar and a jam shuttle going towards the 8 point to cover this advance. Interesting. Pikes
Kiwi.
out. Rails on one of the mounts on these Acellos. Interesting. Other one is going to go...
Oh, just one. The other one's normal.
Oh, all right.
Are those Grazers?
Grazers, Auroras, a lot of laser defenses on this. Interesting stuff. What did they give up for this? They have frontline radars, I guess. So, yeah. They're Acellos. They will get the job done. Puppy comes in with a monitor quintet deployed in an X formation. They're going to be advancing
is on Whistleblow in the trenches. This is the starter fleet. Yep, you got the Talisman on the side. And then Pyrope. Ah, it's the Royal Pumpkin.
There we are. Big 450 bulker with a nasty backpack of containers, if my memory serves correctly. Also has size 2 launchers.
Yeah, so these are mixed salvo container S2 salvos from the back of the liner. And then it's got little point defense escorts. These are Grazer point defense escorts.
Yep. 1 and 2 Grazer shuttles. Bloodhound early warning, and then just a T-20 shuttle going onto the point. ACAP is, I think, just going to go through here. Dozer Flight's airborne, but there's 3 tugs to cleave through.
There's nothing even looking at the 8 point. There's Beamstones almost in position, but nothing.
Railroad Spike, little too late on this one. Beam is out of range currently, does not have that 6-kilometer death zone. Eban going to step on the point, gets the cap, and then just walks away from this thing, I think. Gunfire towards Railroad Spike going to plink away at the beam here. Takes it down to 80%.
Actually, yeah, the 250's actually doing quite a lot to that beam.
Right. Torps out on targets. Going to see which ones land.
Looks like it's going to eviscerate 2 of these things.
Yep.
One of these things.
Dead. Eban, what the fuck? Accurate response there as Firebird looks and just sees what this is. All right, one of those tugs is
taken out,
crippled.
one of them structure broken, and one of them has taken 0 damage and is perfectly
double
fine.
sun drive. That's how they got to point so fast. Double sun drive on the tugs to rush it.
On the opposite side of the map, on D point, the CL is absolutely just tearing apart these tugboats on the D point. One of them down, one of them drives down because they double sun drive. That's so goofy.
I mean, okay,
that's so funny.
On live branch, I could see this being a tech because, like, you get double sun drive, you get that tanky beef in the front there, right? You're able to survive a couple hits. You have a pretty resilient gun, the C-53. But on test branch, we saw just how fast those things died when they get looked at. Beam out on the 8 point there from Jordan, who just advances forward to clean up a little bit of this. They're going to let rip with 450s as well.
The last one is escaping. It's under 450 fire from the BBs, I believe. Taking fire into the drive section, loses the mag.
CIC still active. Some shots there from Firebird as well. They're trying to clip away at this thing, but still, they got the job done. That's a not insignificant investment of fleet power, though. Their E-Band has a plasma can opener, and then that's the rest of it.
That's 3 tugs down, 2 pretty heavily damaged.
Hang on. Torpedo's gonna clean that thing up with... Oh, no, never mind. Frag bombs launched here. Okay.
Oh, yeah, frag bombs are actually rockets now, by the way.
So that's going to do a whole lot if they just zoom into target and obliterate that. Horrible overkill, but at the same time, make sure it's dead. It deserves it.
Look at all of the polka dots on that thing. All right, Crimson just absolutely obliterates that thing. Broadsword coming in over the top.
I like to call that a kitchen sponge ship, you know? Just kind of has the whole, look to it.
I mean, with how many bombers that Tasty has, you can just afford to do what Broadsword's doing, just committing to a strike. Torpedoes out at range on the monitors, I believe, are acquiring.
Puppy does not seem to have jamming available for this. Auroras are nearby. Kiwi needs to battle short and cook these.
The starter monitor ball does not have jamming on it, which kind of sucks.
Ooh, one of the 2 of them.
Multiple hits.
No, just one. Okay, just one after all. Thought I saw last impact, but nope.
Could have been worse. Broadsword gets out of there intact.
Yep. Stealth coding, kind of interesting as it can make the
That's insane.
lock difficulty here. No jamming provided either on that. Fighter coverage a little bit slow. Arbiter flight is on station now, but they were just a little too late. Wait, Oh no, I think there might be a problem with explosive Mega Man's loadouts. I'm looking at their guns right now. They have 35mm gun pods, but they don't have 20mm nose gun ammo. I think that might have been a fleet editor issue, just not checking the box on that.
No,
do they have ammo on the carrier? They do. Ooh. Uh-oh, carrier might
Do they
be...
not?
I don't think they have enough bullets. There's only 1,020mm left on the carrier.
How did this happen?
Potentially missed a zero
I'm
or something
assuming
there?
missed a zero. Yeah. That is highly unfortunate.
Couldn't be me. Has never happened before. Has happened.
This game is like watching a car crash in slow motion.
Yep. Okay, a couple of missiles coming out as Mamba Flight going to find Reflex and Impulse over here. These two flights
Massive
do have
fighter
ammunition. This is going to be a furball in a second here. All the missiles going off, so I'm just going to try and watch this furball happening. Yep, okay.
One squadron completely obliterated.
Yep. That said, the fighter escort is attacking here, but Bombard Flight is sneaking through right now. They're going to get another strike onto that monitor group, knowing that they had weak point defense. Kiwi Burp is not battle shorting their Auroras. Might want to against these torpedoes, honestly. Just cook away at them as much as you can. Does clean up some of them. One torpedo going to find its way into the Ocello. The other one going to find the center.
One hits a monitor. Furball. Both sides
continues. Yeah.
Pretty heavily beat up. Impulse is still hanging in there.
I think the question is who has the more planes here, because if they trade 1-to-1, I believe that the dual levy will come out ahead on that. I think.
Oh, Impulse is cleaning up.
Impulse actually...
Wait, there's two Impulse. They're both Impulse Squadron. They're both Impulse Squadron.
All right, Blue Impulse Squadron is going to be cleaning up these Tycudas here as the Tycudas ran out of fuel and disengaged, and that is just going to be a clean sweep. They've got 15mm, 20mm, and 35mm gun pods. That is not a common thing you see in a mixed wing of fighters like this, but still cool to see them wipe out the formation like that.
AC is just flying through the middle of the map, and Bomberson is completely unpunished.
Going towards Pyro now. They do get locked on briefly. 100mm flak going to start doing a little bit. Jar surprised in one ASF engagement there. Yeah, fuel line issue, unfortunate. Take a look at these. These bombers largely unbothered.
Look at how fast Tasty can cycle bombers.
Yeah.
Holy shit, do you see how many are up right now?
Yep, just seeing the constant plane cycle strike, strike down center.
These are act, wake, acquire onto. A lot of them acquire onto the escort ships.
You see a Grazer shuttle get bonked there, but otherwise doing okay.
No restores, so it's no longer going to be providing
Tasty has another flight coming in. There's jam coverage somewhat from the blanket jammer Corvette there. Honestly, this carrier style here, like, what's it? 3 deck gear lockers, strike down center, 3 flight decks.
It should be worth mentioning that if Jar wasn't running the entirely pretty much ASF carrier, then Tasty would probably be having less of a good day.
Absolutely. This is a case of just 2 carrier fleets squaring off against one, trying to provide coverage, and also some of the new tech gear stealth coding being quite deadly with the jammers as well, making them very difficult to see on approach. Pyro might be getting torpedoed here. 2 of those going to survive.
One hits the midsection, does a little bit of damage.
Other one runs out of fuel by the looks of it, or got grazed.
450 fire from the BBs is coming into Pyro's liner as well.
So some damage taken there. Magazine is, I think, still intact. It is firing in return. A little bit dangerously low, 9%. Actually has a secondary mag. Never mind, it's fine. Where is Tasty with the bomber carrier? There it is, just kind of here in the back. So yeah, goes to show like the power of just when you get bombers up that you can do cycles like this, just constant aggression pounding away at various targets that have been softened or otherwise enabling you to find your way through using coverage of jammers and stuff like that. Fighters doing the screening work there. Pretty good stuff.
I've been trying to keep an eye on Railroad Spike's CL on D point here because D point is pretty much completely open for that CL to potentially push in and take it.
So
there are
some
450 things kind of in the area.
Taking a look from the ANS's perspective, though, they don't have very good sensor coverage on that side. They could think that there's anything hiding behind that E-Rock there. Very easy for a Bulker to pop
They have
up
a sundial hanging out in the middle over A.
Sundial provides a little radar there, trying to spot Puppy, I think, and keep that radar coverage up. This thing is just kind of juking around here. One of Tasty's assets they also have radar jam coverage from, which, out of range. Interesting. Oh, it's firing on tracks instead of heading or positioning or whatever it's called. Yeah, one of those. All right. Attempted the
strike
A-cap
from
going off
Tasty.
here. Railroad Spike thinking about walking their way over.
Undetected, there is the Throngler looking at the point.
Throngler does have T-20s, but will that be enough is the question. Has C-53 as well. I don't think that'll be enough to kill off the Corvette. Still, the Corvette's not spotted right now. Wait, hang on. Does the...
No, it's
probably
not.
doesn't
I
have
think
radar,
it's
does
a
it?
bridge master on the
No,
Escort.
it does not. It's just all 5 rapid cradles on this thing. And 2
Throngler-
jury reactors to power it. That's
That's a tech that you certainly
holy
can
shit,
do.
look at Firebird here as the plasma opens up on them. Most of it going to miss. I can't tell if Firebird was already dodging there or if this was just a not great track quality. It looks like they weren't locked. Torpedoes out in turn. Firebird says,
on the
nuh-uh.
Throngler. Yep. With that Throngler reloading and moving back, I'm sure that Corvette can probably take the point.
2 tropes gonna
2
land on it.
hits.
Takes out Plant Control Center,
Plant
which
control,
is important,
large
and the plasma
DC,
guns.
and 2 plasma guns. That is rough.
Yeah.
Are they going to commit? They are. The Corvette is moving forward towards the A point now.
Honestly, don't blame them really in this situation, seeing like what that Volker was, knowing it's not a 100 mil Volker. Now you've got an opportunity to send a very cheap asset onto the point, potentially swing this game around. OSB does have a cap lead, but not much.
is just constantly cycling strikes. Caltrop and Carnage are fully loaded and heading out right now as there's 3 squadrons returning.
Honestly, kind of respected just for like the good carrier gameplay. I think this is some of the way carriers should be played, where you have this like constant cycle of just planes going up, planes coming back, and getting this repetitive kind of loop style here. It's satisfying in a sort of way, just kind of getting the kind of conveyor belt factory line of just what you need next, like queued up a minute in advance, and then just seeing it just cycle out.
A being secured. The Throngler moving out to try to deny the A point here. No bombers. Caltrop in the area potentially can strike.
They can strike, but the question is, do they need to? Secondary batteries and power
Carnage,
chip at this thing.
Carnage is already moving down the middle.
All right.
The monitors are also in the position to try and deny A point as well.
Okay. Plasma, what do you call this thing? Throngler.
I keep clicking the wrong thing. Where is, there we go. There it is.
It cooks the armor that doesn't exist
cooked
on the Corvette to begin with.
Honestly, you just buffed that Corvette. Everything's going to overpen now. I think that the Corvette does die. Yep, it dies.
Corvette will get cleaned up thanks to the work of Puppy there with a bunch of those shots. That said, torpedoes out onto the Throngler once again. Oh, that thing is... Yep, combat ineffective. Can't open or gone.
Yep. That thing is absolutely obliterated. SDM's trying to go into the bombers here.
Finally,
take out
will
one of the
clean up
bombers.
some of them, but...
Carnage Squadron still has torpedoes and is just... Did they just recommit onto the monitors? It looks like they did.
Carnage knows they've gotten through this before. There's not a Acello in sight. Acello's moved to the top of the map to try and support the D-line
SDMs now. SDMs now from the monitors. Those were not being fired out
breadsticks coming
before.
out. These will probably do it against these bombers. They do not have anything to intercept these, nor do they have enough health bar to tank through them. They will get their strike out, but that's going to be 1, 2,
that is, yep, they're
3
all dead.
splash. Not before getting the torpedoes out on target. Still, if there's any command in here, they're not going to work.
These do not have any command in them.
All right. Act ARAD Val and Act Wake. So a radar jammer would do a lot here. Unfortunately... Oh,
Chaff is
Chaff
able to defend. One of them hits in the rear section of one of the monitors. Does a little bit of damage, not a lot.
Could have been a lot worse.
Still has a lot of bombers, though.
What's Tasty's munition count look like? Let's see. Okay, they've got... Looks like... But 29 torpedoes left here, plus whatever they're cycling currently onto bombers.
Huh.
I mean, for a 3K like carrier there, it's not quite 3K because jam vets are worth. Like,
they've got the jam ships. Yeah, those jam ships are actually pretty expensive.
Oop, Jordan's beam out on a D point.
On the D point. Potentially opening that up even more. Yeah, with Jordan in that. This is the same position Jordan was in before.
We're just doing this. It's like, this is just the game over again. Me and Scape are just saying the same words. Just roll it back. Play the old clips.
Wait a minute. This looks familiar. Yeah, no, but this time there's no CLN to stop that. There is a carrier, though. Yeah. Spearfishing bombs on Demon Squadron going in the vague direction of the battleship. Although that being said,
Spearfish have been nerfed before.
That is true. Oh, look at the E point. Look at the E point.
Ah. Sorry, I'm distracted by what's happening seaside. Oh god, Highball is committing. Okay, Highball flight. Mass S1s into
into monitors?
These don't really take any damage from that, as flak and armor just kind of defends.
S1s into monitors.
Anyways, Eban slides onto the E
secured.
point, and I think potentially has eyes on Tasty up above them. Not quite yet.
Tasty is not spotted. That is only a...
oh, it doesn't have a radar. That's why.
No radar. Demon
A-Cap's going through as Tasty moves one of their jam vets onto point, knowing that the
with
monitors
those monitors
are
moved back. Yeah, I think the A-Cap might go through this time. Looks like ANS also making a play for the D point here with the battleship having pushed up. Battleship still trading fire with Pyrope's 450 liner.
Why did that snap the way that... There we go. Yeah, Pyrope able to get some shots out, but against a battleship from that arc, probably not going to be significant effectiveness.
The ARAD torpedoes miss on the E-Capper because it has no radar.
I told you it was tech. Just don't bring radars, people. It's genius.
Actually, tech.
Wow, you have really nice balls.
OC, thank you for the subscribble. Enjoy your emotes and stuff. All right. Also, be sure to give a follow to my co-caster here, Scape. Let me just give you a shout out there, Scape.
I am also here, yes. Hello.
All right, excellent. Right, what else is happening this game?
Atlas is secured by ANS. E is secured by OSP. These are ACT ARAD Val missiles out on this ship here. The ACT will find this thing.
Boom.
Absolutely just obliterate that thing. Although
I believe we call that
ANS
getting psyched.
ANS has to commit a ship to recap E now.
Honestly, Tasty might just... Yeah, Tasty's just move the carrier onto it.
I mean, you might as well.
Nothing else in the area. Railroad Spike probably wondering, how did that thing get over there since they had the side coverage?
Gunslinger Squadron.
Side block. Oh, here we go.
Flying through a squadron of 9 ASF Barracudas to do a strike on those Ocellos is quite
They still get the torpedoes off, which is a little concerning. That you
this
can
is like
definitely punish
Shadow
it,
Wizard. But... Yeah, this is like Shadow Wizard Money Gang. They don't even need to rearm the craft.
Torpedoes will miss there because they are just Act Seeker. Actually, one of them will find purchase. Takes out the railgun.
Well, the railgun has like no health, so.
Yeah, fair enough. Streak Flight actually struggling to kill these bombers off? Excuse me?
The bombers are on evasive at
Evasive and
range,
the Barracudas are trying. There we go. Finally, they catch up and kill them. Fleeing craft can be difficult to run down. All right, so as I mentioned before, Pyrope now in the kind of D-Rock defense position here, where it's common to see like a Bulker or something likes to sit up here, just making sure that this area is kept honest. Kind of similar to how Jordan is occupying that topside rock there, overwatches a bit of the A point and threatens the D side.
I think ANS missed their chance to do a play for D now that the liner and the Ocellos have pivoted over.
Same time, A point cap went through.
Yep. If ANS can resecure, ANS needs to resecure E immediately.
Jar doing a little bit of flank gaming over here. They've got themselves multiple flights of Tontos kind of cruising around the bottom of the map looking for something.
Are they escorting? They have an AWACS in formation with them.
Honestly, kind of a cool idea. Send the AWACS plane forward.
That's a good idea.
Get some spotting for it.
Going to detect literally everything in OSP's backline. All the monitors are spotted.
One of the monitors does get taken out there by some 450 fire from above. Looks like Jordan deciding to
Jordan's BB pivoting up above, yeah.
Firebird advances through the trench, starting to rise as they've gotten close enough to eat plasma shots from the monitors, but I don't think there's enough plasma at this stage now.
ANS has 2 pretty healthy 450 BBs. They can probably just push into those monitors. ANS needs to start looking to secure caps here.
Supposed to Megaman, Demon Flight is 8 bombers with R3 Spearfish and KB-22s. Starting to go onto the map, probably looking to get onto Firebird's flank, but Firebird is rising to avoid some of that. They will run into one of Demon
Squadron's been sitting there for a while now, just kind of hanging out and waiting. 450 crossfire from the battleships. The battleships, unfortunately, appear to be firing at 2 different targets, which is going to sort of limit their effectiveness. Although Jordan only has arc on one of them.
Pyrope does actually find one jam vet here. Knocks out both the jammers with a lucky 450 hit and some grape shot. That's going to do a little bit to diminish the jamming problem they've been experiencing.
I think one of those is... No, those are both blankets. Never mind.
Jar pulling back from their initial push there does leave the sundial in the backline just to scout everything out. Caltrop Flight is going to join up with Demon here by the looks of it. That's a hell bomb waiting to happen. That's a about how many bombers now? The Caltrop and Demon together is 16 bombers airborne. I think some more of them got off the deck there and are grouping up.
Pushing up. Not sure where they're headed exactly, but they are certainly headed somewhere.
Pyro picks off that GM vet, but now
intent.
Railroad Spike starts to engage a little bit with 250 before pulling back, realizing that's a 450 Bulker, and they do not want to bite off that.
Rail is jamming, so their CL is not detected by this liner.
E-point cap going through as Tasty Cookie steps onto it. Ajax flight from Tasty as well, going under the map. Potentially just going to run into that hell mass of bombers there. Points tally has really risen up here for the OSP side. 712 to 468 on the board.
They held that 3 cap for quite a while. The carrier had to probably go to flight quarter speed to still launch.
Plasma starting to kind of impact Firebird here, but that's not really the concern. Getting a broadside shot here now as Kiwi Burp starts letting both of their Cellos do some work into this thing. Firebird's holding a good position, but I think they might have overextended a little bit here, allowing the OSP to get some shots into them. Bombers coming from below here. That could be huge. That is so many bombers.
Where are these things heading?
I'm going to say going for the battleships here in a second.
Are they going to poke? Oh, Firebird might be having a bad time here. Anti-bomber S3H are out. The squadron is detected.
These are the munitions of choice for this thing. Let's see what they get done.
Spearfish launched
Rockets
from
away.
Demon. Caltrop also launches. Battleship broadside.
Eats in the broadside.
Not a terrible amount of damage. Could have been much worse.
Given these are the nerfed Spearfish as well. Yeah, definitely could have been a lot worse. Firebird, that said, though, is in a really bad spot. Now that 450 is going to start doing a lot of damage to these already softened components. Yeah.
Indeed. Jordan's still intact.
Oh, KB22 is going to start heading in now. No point defense, I believe. And I think this thing is still under command. It is still under command, but its engines are not moving. That's got to be some more damage. That is a lot there. Yeah.
Structure break goes off. 450 fire from the SLOs up top is going to finish off this BB quite quickly here. Only one restore.
I don't want to Balcon, but like, this is kind of what I hate about craft some days. You just get that, well, I'm not living through this strike that comes on your flank like that. Firebird knocked out there. Hellbomb strike succeeds, as well as the supporting fire. That is a dead battleship.
Yep.
I don't want to say it was like 0 to 100 in under a minute, but it certainly felt like it, especially with the anti-bomber munitions fired off on the backpack there. Just, yeah, pain. Even with the
A point being secured by... Nope, never mind. It's dead.
Yep, anyways, there was an attempt to cap it there, but nope.
D point is secured by ANS, though, as that Corvette from Railroad gets onto the point. Fury Squadron strikes
at the bottom of the map.
A tug. It's more of those fragmentation rockets.
Quite a few of them actually missing there on my perspective. Some of them finding their way in, though. That's a good chunk of damage.
They
doesn't quite kill,
structure break it. Still alive. Magazine.
Mag's out.
No, it's
does
no
have
longer
the
able to
aux steering
fight
and
back.
sun drive.
It's no longer able to fight back, but it's still functional.
This worth noting, Tasty Cookie with Ajax Flight in the backfield, dangerously low on fuel, but I think fishing for that carrier or anything else they could find back here.
Pyro pushing onto the D point here to try and resecure it. Throws out some command S2s into the cap ship that took the point. These are going to hit and probably finish it off. Yep.
The Bingus has gotten bongust.
Thank you for that quote. Can we clip that, please?
That's the best cast of all time. Torpedoes in the backfield going to find the early warning tug towards Seaside. Is the Pesto alive? I think is about to be, well, not.
Pesto not alive, if you will. Yep.
Goodbye.
Pesto dead.
Torpedoes are effective, as we have learned. All right.
Jordan pulling back away from the monitors. A is being secured by the monitors. The monitors doing what they need to do, pushing up, realizing the opening left by the dead battleship.
Jordan now getting engaged. That's some plasma into the flank that they don't really want to take. Still a very
Jordan
healthy
is getting
battleship.
Crossfired. Jordan's getting crossfired between Pyro and the monitors.
Pyro
Pyro
with the container.
Oh, those are
going to be a glitter bomb.
Pumpkin bombs. Yep. Those are the container S2 mixed salvo things that I was talking to you about that Pyro Paz.
Reactor bloom on the 8
did
point.
Those just split? Those are R3? R3 containers?
Yep.
What?
It's submunition, so you can get the decoy and then some R3s to punch stuff.
I've never seen R3s in containers. I didn't know you can actually do that.
Yeah, the math is a little funky, but it'll be fixed at some point. To-do list. Anyways, Billions
massive damage
hurt.
into the battleship, yeah. As I think that Pyro's just going to pick it apart with the crossfire here.
Flanking shot there,
securing the D point with the ship, although the CL is in position. Is the CL going to RPF the ship on D? I think.
They're currently out of range of whatever their target is.
They're trying to engage the liner by the looks of it, if we're going by like a range bracket.
Yeah, take a look. Oh, correction shot here. I think they just switched. Yeah. HE rounds flying out here.
Need to be firing RPF to kill that thing, although I think it's going to be a bit too late to deny the decap.
Is that a railgun shot? Where did that come from?
Probably one of the Acellos.
Hang on a second. Right, Kiwis has the railgun back up online. That's where that came from. Right. Yeah, the CL over here going to eat a little bit of 450 from that. Kiwi Bird pretty happy to go down the middle of the map here. OSP, let's see, D point is currently going to go through the cap there. Tasty coming around with bombers towards anything that might be on the D side. I think OSP going to comfortably get that cap.
Tasty found the enemy carrier with a bomber squadron. Are they going to commit onto the...
It's been a lock. There's been a launch. Does the carrier have defenses? It's got
radars
chaff launch
off on the carrier, which means that...
Given the chaff angle, even if they do go for the chaff, it might blow through.
Those are line ship decoys out. 2 torpedoes. Strike. Amidships. Take out 3 of the banks.
However,
this thing has plenty of restores. And
they bring a large storage. Thank you, people. Don't greed your builds. Please actually bring restores. It's really good.
Key point goes to OSP here as the point defense shuttle from Pyro manages to stay alive long enough to take the objective. The CL now kind of forced to pull back here. As
CL, very good tool, but does not want to fight this much 450. That is not its intended use case, especially not on its own like this. Jamvet will get it out of there most likely, but...
Jordan does get a beam out on the monitors at A, although it didn't do a whole lot of damage.
That range, probably not going to be the best.
B is being secured by OSP here as that pretty much dead tugboat gets onto the point.
Sundrive lived with like 1% health bar and will swing this a little bit.
Rail needs to be short that beam. Oh no, it's pivoting away. Did it just hit the rock?
What is it targeting?
It just hit the rock. I think it just hit the side and got its beam knocked off course.
Potentially.
Tragic.
That's... Huh.
It was aiming
directing on the target
before.
now.
Yeah,
yep,
no,
firing
I think
thrusters. Okay. That's rough.
That sucks. That B point's probably going to go through now.
Mamba Flight trying to chase down Firestorm towards the east side. Did Firebird asking if they got any bombers to the ACM dub? I'm going to be honest. I didn't really see any go down there. Did you?
The Acellos have taken a couple torpedo hits, but nothing like unrepairable. Like they're fine.
There's many more of the bomber count there of Explosive Mega Man because I saw the backpack of missiles go from Firebird, but it just looked like they didn't do much. Jordan with the beam right now going towards 8 points again, trying to cook away at this, but that's a lot of fire they may have exposed themselves to here.
Uh-oh. Demon Squadron in the middle of the map is stuck on a rock. Tragic.
Yep. Happens to the best of us.
You hate to see it.
Fighter moment.
This battleship here pushing into 3 450 assets that OSP still has left. That battleship's just going to get picked apart at close range.
Yeah.
The 4-cap going off for OSP, and I think that's going to be an OSP victory.
Yep.
I don't think that ANS can take the caps fast enough.
They had an advantage with their cap situation. The gambit towards 8 point with the 3 tugs. Quite interesting seeing that go off. Couple interesting swings back and forth, just showing the lethality of bombers onto like pretty much any target that they get their hands into. Torpedoes, R3s, KB-22s. You have the tools, you can put them to use. Kiwi Bird doing a very good job here, throwing into the broadside of this. Jordan's battleship refusing to go down.
Jordan builds good battleships in terms of their internals. They take a lot to kill, as we saw in the first match on this map, where they took, was it 24K of containers?
Something like that,
technically alive.
Mamba Flight finding Treehouse Sundial finally in the backfield, trying to RTB because it's out of fuel, but also getting a little bit weird juke evade going there.
They can still evade when they're out of fuel.
One's dodging apparently enough. It's not taking any hits.
It's on high burn cruise.
Interesting. I try and hit it, but it's just... What the heck is this thing doing? Huh?
Hero Sundial? Hello? There it goes.
Oh, yeah, don't open your mouth. Weird.
Another Pyro massive missile dump on the BB. There go the Spearfish rockets and the S2s.
Yep, I think that's going to be the end of these battleships. Yeah, that's a lot of damage just impacting this thing. Game over. Oof. GG. R3 container backpack subbase. Yeah, Pyro tech right there. All right, take a look. Firebird tanking just shy of 23k with that sudden hell strike on them. Similar story, I think.
Yeah,
for
just
Jordan,
took them out.
19.5-ish. Yeah.
Railroad did really good on the cap war, but unfortunately, OSP was just super aggressive on the caps and just kept resecuring them in the back line.
There was good stuff overall. Take a look at Tasty pulling 44k with those torpedo stealth claymores, just constantly cycling them. 18 of them carried,
right.
Only 15 lost, so 3 left, but that's a lot of damage there from a support fleet.
Right. Especially when you're not even committing 3k to a carrier. That's
Indeed.
really good.
Each of these...
that's 2.3. That's 2.3k on a carrier that did that much. That's really good.
Yep. Could have been intercepted by fighters, but fighter coverage was occupied by Jar, who is the dual levy pair doing kind of air superiority stuff. OSP side, E-Band came in with the kind of gambit for these 6 tugs, 2 groups of 3.
I mean, it worked.
Plasma.
They got the 8 points. They were able to take both naturals that ANS had at 2 different points in the map by just flanking these things around the map. I mean, it worked pretty good.
Yeah. Explosive Megaman doing very good work on the carrier. Their OSP side outnumbered 2-1 for the carrier count on the ANS in terms of fleets and stuff. Their bombers did respectable work with the build-up.
Only really got 1 big strike through, but it was a very decisive strike into that BB.
If we're going to think about it, right, in terms of the points trade there, 1 big strike takes out, 2.7k worth of ANS asset. That's pretty much the money that you're looking for.
Right. Kiwi did good in the Acellos. Didn't do the highest damage, but was able to just be there when needed.
Did the job, checked the box, got what they could done. Puppy was running Garnet Squadron, I believe it was. Garnet Squadron, it's a monitor fleet, so there's only so much you can really fit into it. Everyone has their own little tweaks and tunings. Some people like more jammers. Some people like dropping one of the monitors for a tug or a shuttle or something to bring. Pyro.
And then Pyro did very respectable in the hero line to 2k. This thing has 2 DCXs if I'm remembering correctly.
It's something insane like that, but yeah, 2k worth of line ship. You can build them like this, but unless you're Pyro, results may vary.
Yeah. Only Pyrope is allowed to do this.
Yeah.
Only Pyrope is allowed to do this. That's just how Neb works.
Yeah.
We've given Pyrope an exemption. They're allowed to build their liners like this. No one else is.
Yep. Anyways, I think that's the wrap up then of Salar with this last one. Any closing things to say for this?
For this match, not really.
Yeah.
It was a really interesting back and forth on this one, like you said, as the cap points just kept flipping back and forth between the 2 teams. It was very interesting to see.
Both sides able to snake a lot of stuff into the backfield, get some weird flanks, kind of surprise techs and tools and stuff. Yeah.